The twin suns of Velkarnine burned like fireballs in the sky. The light was too bright, the heat too strong, and the air too dry. The land was broken, cracked stone, sharp ridges, and red dust everywhere. No trees, no rivers, no sign of life. But deep inside a rocky valley, something lived, or at least something moved. A group of giant creatures lay chained near the base of an old alien fortress. Their bodies were huge, part metal, part flesh, with scales like armor and glowing eyes that dimmed and blinked slowly. They looked like dragons from human myths. But they were not dragons. They were something more, something ancient and royal. They were the royal beasts of the Zelarai Empire, powerful biomechanical creatures once worshipped and feared. Now they were weak. Their wings were broken, their claws dulled, and their minds locked by control chips. They didn't roar anymore. They didn't fly. They just waited. Doomed, most people thought they were dead, or worse, useless. But one person believed they could still be saved. His name was Milo Vance, human tinkerer from Earth. He wasn't a soldier, not a hero, and definitely not rich. He fixed broken machines, that's all. Old bots, junkyard ships, heating coils, anything with wires and gears. But Milo had one thing others didn't. Curiosity. He had come to Velkarnine looking for scrap. The old alien wars had left tech everywhere. Wrecked ships, fallen machines, forgotten weapons. Scavengers stayed away from the deeper parts of the planet. They said it was cursed, that strange shadows walked the land, that no one came back. Milo didn't listen. He didn't believe in curses. He believed in machines and secrets. The airlock hissed as Milo stepped out of his small shuttle. Dust hit his face like sandpaper. His repair bot, Clipper, floated beside him, scanning the area with a soft beep. "This place is dead," Clipper said in a flat voice. "Then it's perfect," Milo smiled. He walked slowly, boots crunching on dry stone. Broken weapons lay half buried in the dirt. Alien armor cracked and melted under the sun. He reached the edge of the valley and stopped. He had found them, huge bodies, chains thicker than his arms, scorch marks on the ground. The smell of burned metal and blood. He whispered, "What in the stars?" Clipper floated closer. "Warning, biosignatures detected, large, unstable, dangerous." Milo didn't move. One of the beasts turned its head, very slowly, very weakly, its eye locked onto his. Milo froze. The creature stared at him not with anger, but with something else, hope. He came back the next day, and the next he didn't bring tools to hunt or trap. He brought water, small energy cells, cooling foam. He didn't talk much, just watched. Listened. The beasts didn't speak, but their eyes followed him. Day by day, they began to shift tiny movements. One moved its tail. Another raised its neck slightly. The biggest one, with golden horns and blue armor plates, made a low, soft sound. Not a growl. Not a threat. It was a greeting. Milo felt something deep inside him change. These weren't animals. They were prisoners. By the fifth day, he found the control chips buried deep in their necks, small black nodes with blinking red lights. Each one connected to wires that led under the skin. The chips were old, alien, cruel. Milo pulled out his tools. A microscanner, a signal breaker, and his own tiny invention, data whisperer. Something he made back on Earth to unlock old space doors. He looked at the biggest beast. Its head rested close to the ground. It didn't resist. Milo took a deep breath. "If this works, you owe me a ride in the sky." The whisperer clicked to life. It blinked, beeped, then stopped. Nothing happened. Then red light gone. Chip went dark. The beast's eye lit up brighter, clearer, and it spoke. Not with words, but a voice in his mind. "You are not Zellari. You are not slave. Why help us?" Milo dropped his tool, shocked. "Atono," he said. I hate." Seeing things broken, Clipper hovered closer. "Milo, this is not safe." But Milo wasn't listening. He had heard that. Its voice, deep, royal, powerful, yet weak. He looked around. There were 6 beasts, all chained, all silent, all waiting. He had freed one. He could free them all, but someone else knew. A ship had landed that night far from his shuttle, silent, hidden, inside it. Someone watched him through long-range scanners, an alien with silver skin and eyes like knives. The next morning, Milo woke early. He didn't sleep well. Strange dreams had chased him all. Night flashes of fire, wings, and alien screams. But the memory of the beast's voice stayed in his mind. Why help us? He still didn't have an answer. As the sun rose, he packed his tools and supplies. Clipper buzzed nervously beside him. "Milo, I scanned the area last night." Clipper said, "Unidentified ship. Unknown life forms. High risk." Milo wiped sweat from his neck. "We knew this wouldn't stay secret forever." He checked the power on his scanner and loaded up the Whisperer tool. "Still," Clipper added, "we should leave. Report this. Return with help." Milo shook his head. No one cares about old alien creatures. To them, these beasts are just weapons or scrap. He looked toward the rocky valley. "They're alive, Clip. They trust me, and I won't leave them." He reached the valley by noon. The heat was worse today, and the sky glowed a sick yellow. Dust storms spun far in the distance like ghosts. The beasts were awake, more alert than before. The one he freed golden-horned. Proud lifted its head as he approached. "Your hands broke the chains. Your mind carries no hate." Milo stepped closer. "You're not just beasts. You're something more." "What are you?" "We are the Dravaks, royal guardians, protectors of the Zellari line. But the Zellari turned on us, feared us, bound us. Now we rot under twin suns until the stars forget us." Milo walked toward the next chained beast. This one was sleeker, with black scales and red lights glowing beneath its skin. He opened his tool case. "Will you free her too?" The Golden Dravaks asked. Milo nodded, one by one. As he worked, strange sounds echoed from the rocks above. Clipper turned fast, scanning the cliffs. "Milo." Movement detected. Fast. Multiple heat signatures. Milo didn't stop, then dash crack. A plasma bolt shot past his head and hit the ground. Dust exploded. Milo dropped flat, covering his face. "Down." Clipper shouted. Figures appeared on the ridge 6. In total, all wore armor the color of ash and carried long-barreled energy rifles. Their helmets had dark visors. One raised a CUM device. "Target confirmed. Human scavenger interfering with secured zone. Proceed with capture." The hunters moved fast, sliding down the rocks like shadows. To stayed on the ridge to cover Milo. Crawled behind a rock and pulled out a flare. He fired it into the air. Bright red light shot up and burst, signaling distress. But no one would come. He wasn't calling for help. He was warning the beasts. Suddenly, the golden-horned drabs roared. The sound shook the cliffs. Even in chains, its voice cracked the sky. Its glowing eye burned bright as lightning. Then snap. Its neck surged forward, and its teeth sank into one of the hunters mid-jump. Screams, armor crushed, blood spilled. Milo rolled away, reaching the black-scaled beast. He jammed the Whisperer into the chip and hit the breaker. Beep. Click. Red light off. Its eye blinked open. "I hear the storm." She lunged before the next bolt could hit. 2 hunters were down in seconds, one crushed. One thrown like a doll, the others panicked, firing wildly, but the Dryvacs were awake now. Even in chains, their rage was powerful. Milo pulled back behind the rocks, panting. His shirt was soaked with sweat, and dust covered his face. Clipper hovered beside him. "You triggered a battle. I saved them," Milo said. "They saved me too." Suddenly, a loud hum filled the air. A drone, small, fast, and deadly, flew overhead. Scanning the chaos, Milo looked up. It wasn't just the hunters. Somebody bigger was watching now. Back on the ridge, the last hunter activated a beacon, a hologram. Lit up a tall alien with silver skin, black eyes, and long hair like wires. He didn't speak, just stared at Milo through the image. Then, with a voice cold as ice, said, "You have touched royal property. You will not be warned again." The image vanished. Milo clenched his fists. "I don't care who you are. You left them here to die." He looked back at the 2 freed beasts. They're not property. They're people. That night, Milo stayed hidden inside a broken tower near the valley. The 2 free drags stood near the others, keeping watch. Clipper floated silently. Milo sat by a small fire, tired, his hand shaking as he cleaned his tools. "I started something, Clip." "Yes," Clipper replied. "Something that will bring war." Milo looked at the fire. He could still hear the chains rattling in the wind. He made a promise to himself. Tomorrow, he would free another, even if it meant more hunters would come. Even if it meant his death, because sometimes all it takes to change the stars is one stubborn human. Morning came with strange silence. No wind, no hunters. Just the heavy breath of 2 freed royal beasts watching over the chained ones. Milo sat beside the black-scaled Dryvacs, checking the damage on his whisper tool. It had been slightly cracked during the fight. He gently wiped dust off its surface. "Still working," he muttered. Clipper floated beside him, alert. No movement detected. But scanners show more incoming ships from orbit. "How many?" "2. "Many?" Milo didn't flinch. "Then we better move faster." He stood and walked to the 3rd beast. This one was different. It was the largest of all, twice the size of the others. Its armor plates were deep purple, cracked and burned. One wing was missing. The other bent at a bad angle. Its eye didn't glow. Its chest rose and fell very slowly. This one was barely alive. Milo approached carefully. The black-scaled beast whispered in his mind. He was once called Vorin, guardian of the inner throne. He has not spoken in many cycles. Thazelri burned his mind before they left. Milo looked at the control chip in Voron's neck. It was different, older, deeper, with strange alien symbols glowing faint red. He reached for it. Suddenly, Vorin growled, weak but deep. His eye flickered. Milo stopped. "Easy. I'm here to help." "It is not fear," the black beast said. "It is pain. The chip is rooted into his spine. If you force it, he may die." Milo stared at the chip. This one wasn't like the others. He couldn't just break it. He'd need more time, more skill, more luck. But time was something he didn't have. That afternoon, a shadow passed overhead. Clipper beeped loudly. "Stealth drone, Zelari. Make, scanning this region." Milo ducked behind a rock. The drone hovered, paused, then flew toward the broken fortress. The golden drabs stepped forward, wings dragging. They are watching, deciding when to strike. When the 4th is free, they will attack in full force. Milo nodded. "Then we free him tonight." He turned back to Vorin. Carefully, he scanned the chip again, reading its code, its signals. The alien language hurt his eyes, but he tried anyway. He connected the whisper, tuned it slowly. One wrong move could kill the beast. His hands shook. He paused, then pressed the trigger. Nothing happened for a moment. Then, Varen's entire body shook violently. He roared in pain. The others roared back, forming a circle around him. Milo pulled back, shouting, "I'm sorry, had to try." Suddenly, the chip sparked. Red light turned white, then dark. Varen collapsed. Silence. Milo rushed forward, heart racing. "Varen, please." The giant beast didn't move. Then slowly his. I opened, and this time, it burned bright gold. A voice entered Milo's mind, so deep it felt like thunder in his chest. "The sky has changed. A human unlocked my chains. Impossible." Milo smiled weakly. "You're awake. You risked your life for me. For us? Why?" Milo looked up at the stars just beginning to appear. Because someone has to care. And it looks like no one else does. That night, the beasts gathered. 3 were free now. 3 still chained. They surrounded Milo like giants made of stone and fire. The golden Drax spoke. "We remember our oath, to protect the royal blood, to defend the line. But the Zelari are gone. Their line is broken. We are the last. Now, you flesh-born from a distant sun treat us like more than tools. Perhaps you are more royal than they ever were." Milo didn't know what to say. He wasn't royal. He wasn't. Strong he was just a tinkerer. But in their eyes, he was becoming something else, far away in the cold sky above Valkarnine. A fleet gathered, alien ships, sleek, dark, and silent floated in low orbit. Inside the lead ship, the silver-eyed commander from before stood before a massive screen. He watched the valley, watched the beasts, watched Milo. He turned to his officers. 3 are awake. The 4th will follow. We cannot allow this. Prepare orbital strike teams. Bring the control cage. And if the human resists," his eyes narrowed, "turn him to dust." Back on the planet, Clipper received a transmission. "Milo, satellite intercept confirms Lari strike fleet incoming. Estimated time, 10 hours. Milo sighed. He looked at the 3 free Dravaks. Then the 3 still bound. "We don't have 10 hours. He stood and wiped his hands. "Then we work through the night." Night fell on Valkarnine. The twin suns had set, leaving behind a red glow on the rocks. The air grew colder. The stars above were clear now. And in them, death was coming. Milo stood over the 5th royal beast. This one looked different. Smaller than the others, but its body was built like a spear, sharp, fast, with thin wings and silver-tinted armor. Its eyes were closed. Its head was low. It didn't move. "She hasn't reacted," Milo whispered. The golden drag stepped closer. She was always quiet, always watching. The fastest of us all. But she lost her mind when the Empire betrayed us. Her name was Sorel. We do not know if she remembers her name anymore. Milo sighed. "Then maybe I'll help her remember." He bent down and scanned the chip at the base of her skull. It pulsed strangely. Not like the others. Clipper floated closer. "Milo, this chip is still broadcasting." "What?" "Signal active. Tracking live. Someone already knows you're here." Milo's eyes widened. Suddenly, dash boom. The sky above lit up with fire. A ship broke through the clouds. Long, black, and shaped like a blade, it fell fast, silent until the last second. Red lights flashed along its body. It hovered just above the valley, engines shaking the rocks. Milo grabbed his tools. "They're here." The drive axe spread there. Wings, growling Zelari. Warship, battle class. It brings cages. Metal pods dropped from the ship, 6 in total. They slammed into the ground and cracked open. Soldiers stepped out, armored in chrome and blue, faces hidden behind glass helmets. Each held a weapon glowing with energy. One of them pointed at Milo. "Step away from the beasts," a voice ordered through a loudspeaker. "You have broken Zelari. Code, you will be removed." Milo raised his hands, but didn't move back. "They're alive. They don't belong to you." "They belong to the Zelari," the voice said coldly. "And you are a trespasser." The freed beasts moved forward, wings unfolding. The soldiers activated energy nets and sonic cannons. The ground cracked as two sides faced off. Milo shouted, "No, not yet." But it was too late. The battle began. The golden drabs charged first. Horns glowing. Energy blasts bounced off his armored skin. He hit one pod, crushing it underfoot. Soldiers flew in all directions. The black-scaled beast flew low, dodging and slashing. Her claws cut through metal like paper. Voranthe, massive purple, beast roared so loud the sky shook. He smashed his chains and threw a pod across the valley. Fire exploded around him. Milo ducked behind a rock, shouting, "Clipper, keep scanning for weak points in that warship." Clipper beeped fast. "Shields holding, but the lower deck is exposed during landing mode." Milo looked up at the ship. He had an idea. He ran toward Sorel, the silent beast. She hadn't moved. Her eyes stayed shut. Milo knelt beside her, heart pounding. "You hear that? That's war. They came to destroy you." He placed his hand on her cold scales. "You don't have to fight. But I'm not leaving you like this." He pulled out his last whisper chip, the strongest one, and pressed it into the socket. The signal inside resisted sparks flew. Milo gritted his teeth. "Come on, come back." Then a soft breath. Sorel's eye opened. Pale blue, faint. A voice, broken and distant, entered Milo's mind. "Where am I? Who are you?" "I'm a human," he said. "And I need your help. I remember flying. I remember light. They burned my wings." Her eyes brightened. "Now they return. With chains. Let them try." Sorel rose. Her body shook at first. Then she leapt into the air. Soldiers fired nets and cannons. She dodged them all like wind. She was fast, a blur of silver light. She flew toward the ship above Milo, activated his wrist. Beacon, Clipper. Signal her aim for the back engine deck. That's their weak point. Signaling now. Sorel turned sharply, energy glowing around her. Then she dived straight into the back of the Zelari ship. Boom! A blast shook the whole valley. Fire and metal exploded from the ship's rear. The warship tilted, smoking, losing power. The Zelari shouted in panic. The beasts roared in victory. The battle was over in minutes. 3 pods burned. 3 others retreated. The warship rose slowly, limping into the clouds. Milo fell to the ground, coughing, covered in ash. Clipper hovered beside him, victory confirmed. He looked up at the 5 freed Draviks. All 5 stood tall now, wings stretched, eyes glowing. Only one remained in chains. The last one, hidden behind rock. Its body still, its eyes closed. The others looked at it. "He was our youngest," Voran said. "He fell before the betrayal even began. He was never awakened." Milo stood. "I'll try." Smoke still rose from the valley. Half-burned pods lay scattered. The giant warship had vanished into the sky, damaged but not destroyed. The Zelari would return stronger and angrier. But for now, there was silence and one last royal beast still in chains. He lay half-buried in red dust and broken stone. Smaller than the others, but heavier. His skin was dark blue, covered in silver veins that pulsed slowly. No glow in his eyes. No sound from his breath. Milo approached slowly. "Is he alive?" he asked. The golden-horned beast stepped beside him. "He is called Roos, youngest of us. The first they chained. He never woke again. We do not know if he dreams." Milo knelt beside the last beast. The control chip was old, fused deep into the spine. The surface had rust. It looked dead, but Milo's scanner picked up one faint signal, a small flicker. "A tiny current," Milo whispered, "like a spark trapped in a broken wire." Clipper floated over the body, scanning hard. "Milo, this chip is not just a controller. It is a lock. A lock." Milo looked confused. A fail-safe system. The Zalori didn't just shut him down. They buried something inside him. Milo looked at the pulse again. "Like what?" Clipper paused. "A memory core. Alien code. Old data. It's locked inside his brain." Milo stood up slowly. What if the chip isn't just holding him? What if it's hiding something? That night, under the stars, Milo set up a small light and opened his toolkit. The 5 freed drafts formed a protective circle around him. He cleaned the surface of the chip, pulled out his whisperer. But this time, he didn't activate it. He paused. "This isn't about waking a beast now," he said softly. "This might be about something bigger." The golden drags nodded. He was born last. But the elders said Roos carried a seed of memory. A hidden truth. We never knew what it meant. Milo gently touched the chip. It was warm now. Alive, he connected a signal wire and linked it to his wristpad. Alien code began to scroll across the screen. Symbols, lights, then message. The screen flashed, text appeared. Not in English, but in a strange, broken mix of Earth language and alien script. Milo read slowly. "To any mind who unlocks this, know the truth. The royal beasts were not made to serve the Zalari. We were made by something far older, far stronger. The Zalari stole us. They used us to build their empire. But we remember the stars we came from. Our home is not this galaxy." Milo blinked. "What?" The golden beast leaned closer. "What does it say?" Milo looked up, shocked. "You weren't born here. None of you. You're alien even to the Zalari." Then the stories were true, Vorin said. "We are older than our chains." Clipper buzzed. "Milo, if this data is real, the Zalari have hidden the origin of the royal beasts for centuries. They didn't create them. They stole them." Suddenly, Roos moved. Just one breath. One blink. But it was real. Milo dropped the tool and stepped back. The chip on Roos's neck turned black. Then, cracked. A bright white light pulsed from inside his chest. The beasts stepped closer. "He awakens." Roos slowly raised his head. His voice was unlike the others. Soft, calm. "Ancient, you are. Not Zalari." Milo stepped forward. "No, I'm human. I've freed your brothers and sisters." Roos looked around. "The Empire is gone." "Not yet," Milo said. "But we're fighting them, and you." He hesitated. "You're not just a beast, are you?" Roos stood fully now. The ground trembled beneath his feet. "No, I am more. I carry the memory of our creators. And now, I remember everything." Far above the planet, on the edge of orbit, the damaged Zalari warship linked to a larger Mother fleet inside. Alarm screamed. An officer ran to the silver-skinned commander. "Sir, we intercepted a signal leaked from the surface. It came from the last beast." The commander turned sharply. "What did it say?" The officer hesitated. "It confirms the old legend. They are not ours. They never were. The commander crushed a data tablet in his hand. Then we must destroy them. Now, before that truth spreads, send everything. Back on the ground, Milo sat beside the 6 now-free DRA vacs. All stood tall, wings open, power in their steps. Roos looked to the stars. They will come in numbers now. They fear what we remember. Milo nodded. Then we give them a reason to be afraid. He looked up at the night sky. Tomorrow, we stop running. The sky was black with warships. The Zalari had returned, not with one ship or 6 pods, but with an entire armada, 20 heavy carriers, 50 hunter crafts, 1 mothership the size of a mountain, and at the center, the silver-skinned commander stood. Calm and proud, he looked at the battlefield far below. Target, Velkarnine. Fire until nothing remains. The Zalari had ruled through lies and power. Now the truth was breaking their chains. They couldn't allow that down on Velkarnine. The 6 royal beasts stood in a line at the edge of the rocky valley. Their wings shimmered. Their eyes glowed. No longer prisoners. Golden-horned Vor, Randot, black-scaled Sorel, massive purple Vorin, silent silver. Sorel, bright-eyed Roos, and the youngest now wide awake, and beside them, so small compared to their giant forms, stood Milo Vance, human, tinkerer, mechanic, not a soldier, but the one who woke the forgotten. Clipper hovered beside him, buzzing with panic. Milo, the Zalari fleet has locked weapons. Planet-wide attack incoming. We don't run, Milo said, his voice steady. We end it here. The beasts all turned toward him. What is your plan, Sparkmaker? Vorin asked. Milo stepped forward, pulling out a device made from scrap wires, an ancient tech. I have something they don't. He held up a small, glowing cube. What is that? Asked Sorel. Roos gave it to me, Milo said. A memory seed from your true creators. It's not just history, it's a signal. It speaks to your kind, and to others like you. Out there, Roos nodded. Broadcast it. Let the stars hear us. Let every stolen beast remember who they are. The Zalari fleet prepared to strike. All weapons locked. Countdown in progress, said the ship AI. But suddenly a burst of light exploded from the planet's surface. A pulse. A signal. The cube in Milo's hand glowed so brightly. It lit up the entire valley. The Zalari commander shouted. What is that? Shut it down. But they couldn't. The signal had already escaped. It pierced the sky. It raced through satellites, debris fields, warp dash lanes, out across the galaxy, in distant worlds, in cages, in labs, in old broken fortresses. Other creatures, like the royal beasts, half machine, half life, awoke. They felt it. A call, a truth, a roar in their bones. You were never made to obey. You were stolen now. Rise on Velkarnine. The beasts looked to the sky. The mothership began charging its primary cannon. Clipper warned. Planet core strike in 90 seconds. Milo looked at the 6 beasts. We can't stop the cannon, he said, but we can reach it. Roos stepped forward. Let us carry you. One last flight. Together. Milo climbed onto Vurin's back. Clipper magnetically latched beside him. The others lifted into the air, wings cracking against gravity. Fire and light surrounded them. 6 giants, 1 human, heading straight into the heart of a fleet. The battle. In space was chaos. Zalari. Fighters swarmed. The beasts tore through them like thunder. One used its tail to whip through 2 warships. Another shot plasma from its mouth. Burning engines mid-flight. Cyril flew circles around the cannons, drawing their aim away. Roos, glowing with light, broke through the mothership's hull. Milo jumped inside as the hull tore open. He ran through the corridors. Behind him, the ship began to shake, Clipper flew ahead. Main cannon core located. They reached the chamber. It pulsed with deadly energy. The cannon was seconds from firing. Milo took a deep breath. This will either save us, or melt me. He shoved the signal, cube, into the core. The cannon's energy began to spin wildly. The Zelari commander screamed through the comms, "Stop him." Too late. The cannon exploded inward. A wave of white energy pushed out not a weapon, but a signal of awakening. The mothership shut down. Every Zelari ship around it lost power, fell dead in space. Silence. Then, cheers. The beasts outside roared. In victory, Milo crawled out of the ruined ship, coughing and smiling. "You see that?" he whispered. "We won." Roos caught him as he fell from the edge of the mother ship. He placed him gently on the ground, back on VLK-AR-9. The Zelri were defeated, not by war, but by truth. Weeks passed. The story of the royal beasts spread across space, on distant planets. Others awakened. They no longer hid. They joined together. The forgotten species now remembered. Milo stood in the same valley where it all began, now green with new life. Strange plants had begun to grow where ash once lay. The beasts had stayed. They built nothing. They claimed no thrones, but they were free. Milo looked up at Vorin. "What now?" "We return to the stars, to find the ones we lost, to protect the ones waking. But you, Spark Maker, you will always be one of us." The golden beast bowed to him. Milo smiled, blinking back tears. "I'm just a guy who fixes broken things. And now the galaxy is healing."